Welcome, race fans, to race number 15, the Black Magic Designs 175 here at Talladega, the fourth race in the chase and the final chance for these drivers to get a chance to lock themselves into the final five positions of the championship following this race here. Joining me tonight, Dave Huckleberry, the producer, showing you these wonderful sights from Talladega here. Joining me also tonight is Michael Goodman, going to be my help for tonight. Also, myself, Gerald Campbell. We are excited, folks, because there's a lot on the line, and there's a lot of drivers whose season depends on being able to come across that checkered flag first. This is the point standings as they run. The drivers marked in green tonight. There it goes. Marked in green tonight are the drivers that are locked in. They have nothing to worry about. They are simply out here for the victory, so they are guaranteed to make it into the final race of the chase to go for a championship. The drivers in yellow are not yet locked in, but they are currently in based off of points as they run. Drivers in red are the unlucky ones to try to have to get in tonight with a victory or point their way. With minus 17 back, Jonathan Cutlip, it's pretty much just a few drivers that have that option to get in on points. The others, like a Dustin Dewar, a Joshua Freed, Justin Wadsworth, those drivers' only chances tonight is going to be underneath that checker flag coming in first. So we're going to be excited to see how that goes and plays out. Michael, I know you have a couple drivers that race for you in here in the Do Good Motorsports camp, and they are all in red. How are their chances looking at a track like this to get themselves a victory?
Well, I think it's just going to be staying out of trouble. It's kind of generally the key word when we go to a plate track like Daytona or Talladega. But as far as their skill sets, I think especially in elite competition, we generally see Jeff Green, Dustin Dewar up front at some point during these races. But can they close the deal? That will be a big factor here tonight.
I know that you're excited for your guys. I know they want to get a chance to be able to race for a championship and get a win to boot with that. Right now, it looks like we're going to have just at 22 drivers. So their chances are not too bad, considering most of the time on these Talladega events, it's usually you out of 40 drivers. 22 is not nearly as bad. So there's a good chance for these drivers to try to get themselves in. Qualifying is underway as we are speaking right now. But overall, I would have to say, Goody, their normal idea of how to do a super speedway has to change when the field is not nearly this large. Wouldn't you have to believe?
Yeah, I would think so. And I think there's going to be a lot of different strategies going on just based off of the car count here tonight. Even the mentality of a Jonathan Cutlip, who is 17 points back with only 22 cars in the field tonight. He's got to feel like he's in somewhat of a must-win situation as well. Or if we would have had a 40-car field, that might have played out a little different, where he might have lagged in the back a little bit. But I think with this basically half of a field from what we would normally see tonight, it could go one of two ways. Everyone just kind of minds their P's and Q's, runs single file, or everyone's going to be chomping on the bit. I don't really foresee many people kind of lagging in the back like we normally do see.
No, I believe you are correct in that aspect. Dave, do you have how many sets of tires they have for tonight? And do you know if there's any stage cautions, or is it going to be green for all 66 laps here? It's all green, 66 laps, no stages, 2 sets of tires. Tires aren't going to be that important, but overall, 66 laps is not that long, I would have to say, for a super speedway, wouldn't you say?
It's not long, and one of the interesting facts too that I was talking to Dusty before the race, and he was saying about 30 laps on a fuel load. So it could get really interesting if anyone, especially in the draft, if they can stretch that fuel out and make it in one pit stop. It seems like it might be kind of a stretch, but there's potential for some fuel mileage kind of going on here tonight if we go green throughout those 66 laps. So. Tires aren't going to be an issue tonight, but fuel could definitely play a factor in tonight's race.
Yeah, Dave and I have seen a couple races so far this season end up into a fuel strategy mode. Just last race 2 weeks ago, that whole scenario played out where fuel strategy came into effect, and that's what led Scott Crump to be able to lock himself in for that final, or for that one of those playoff spots for the final 5. He got in due to a fuel strategy. He was also very quick, but needless to say, the fuel helped him in that aspect. But overall, I think we are set up for a really good race. Qualifying is almost wrapped up here. Drivers are setting times, but overall, this is not a track where qualifying is going to be all too of importance. I was watching practice, and the cars were fairly competitive with being able to make passes. It looked like all 3 lanes are going to be used into effect here, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, three lanes is definitely going to be in play here tonight. One thing I also noticed watching practice, Gerald, is as far as the bump drafting. You know, we've run Elite, we run the Xfinity, we run the Cup Series, and we also run the trucks here, and they all kind of handle a little bit differently under the bump drafting. And tonight these cars move around a little bit, so you got to kind of mind your P's and Q's with that, and it should be a fun one as these boys are ready to go green.
Absolutely. Qualifying has just wrapped up. We're going to go through the field here to start tonight's event. Well, starting out front for tonight's Black Magic Designs 175, it's going to be Scott Crump, last week's winner. Starting in second position, the Leighton Norgard going right there. Right behind him is in third place. That is Jeff Green, one of those drivers trying to get himself in. Tyler Bodie will come into tonight in the starting position of number 4. Corey Abbott, another one of those drivers trying to get himself in, going to be starting from the 5th position. Chad Frankenfield will be rolling off in the 6th position. Joshua Personette in 7th for tonight. Mark Murphy will be in the 8th position. Andrew Hardcastle will be starting from the 9th position. Dustin Dewar, another Do Good Motorsports driver, going to be starting from the 10th position. In the 11th position is Cody McCorkle for Mountain Man Motorsports. And the 12th position is Casey Hatch for Fueled Up Racing. In the 13th position, Sam Batwell for Wall E Racing. Ethan Burrell will be rolling out in 14th position with Pro Edge. And 15th is Jaden Rasmus. In 16th is Jonathan Cutlet for Pro Edge Racing. 17th position is going to be Trey Holmes, also from Pro Edge Racing. Jess Story in the 18th position for Mountain Man Motorsports. Justin Wadsworth will be starting in 19th. Jaden Rasmus will be in 20th. Michael Hosek, 21st. And in 22nd position is Harrison Talon for Fueled Up Racing. And that is the field. Only 22 drivers starting tonight. Kind of a short field for a super speedway, but we're excited to see how it is. I think that's going to amp up these drivers. They're going to believe that there's not going to be as many wrecks, and I think we're going to have some hard racing from the front of the field here.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a whole heck of a lot of fun here tonight. But you know, one thing these guys got to kind of mind their P's and Q's on as well. If one wreck could wipe out quite a big chunk of the field here with only 22 cars, so it could be interesting in that regard too. But you know, kind of looking through the field as you're doing the lineup. First off, I gotta say that music in the background, that's thumping. That's awesome stuff right there. Number 2, these playoff guys, or these guys that are trying to get in that final 5 kind of position after tonight, they're littered all throughout the field. So there could be some guys in the back of that pack who want to work themselves up to the front. So we could potentially see some 3 wide action right away, especially we do see Chad Frankenfield. Just seen him on your screen in 6th position. We know he's not shy of going 3 wide.
Yeah, he's made some enemies for 3 wide, but 3 wide is going to be the call here tonight. I think you're right. I think all 3 grooves are based off of practice are going to probably be taken advantage pretty quickly here, just based off of how desperate some of these guys are coming in tonight wanting to win this. So we're going to see 3 wide play a factor before it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's gonna be a factor. It's gonna be fun. These boys are getting ready, coming on to turn 4 for the final time, getting ready to take the green flag. Gerald, these boys, as Larry Mack would say, the boys got to pull them belts tight one more time.
Yeah, the flagman already has a green flag, but I don't know why. He's not waved it yet. Okay, I guess the green flag is out. But yes, the trucks are going to be coming around. The trucks in yellow tail banners will be the ones that will be racing for the chance to get in. But overall, let's get this started, folks. This is the final chance for them to lock themselves in to the final 5, where the racing gets good and the good gets racing. We are green flag at Talladega. Man, right off the bat, they are already pushing really hard. Look at that outside lane push.
Yeah, Fode's getting a good push there going into turn 1. I just had to say, Barney, the flag man there, his discipline with that flag was second to none. That was beautiful.
Perfect timing, huh? Yeah, good start by these guys. It looks like everyone's gotten going pretty well here, but already a driver looking to the outside. Yeah, looking to the outside. I think that's Casey Hatch in the 14, getting some help with Ethan Burrell and the 11 from Jonathan Cutlip right up on the top side.
That's one of those non playoff contenders trying to mix things up here early on in the going. Casey Hatch on that outside line, outside of Dustin Dewar and Joshua Personette. And even only having 3 cars, Gerald, looks like they're making some ground up on that third lane.
Absolutely. Now, you would have thought Ethan Burrell, one of those drivers that was up into the top 5 based off of points. He's not locked in, but he is just there. You would think, he'd have an easy time. He was 25 points above the cutoff line, but he was only 7 points in front of Leighton Norgard. Why that is so important is if we have a new winner, then that moves that cutoff line to a Leighton Norgard being removed, and now it would only be a 7-point gap between Ethan Burrell and a Leighton Norgard. So the 37 is really going to be focusing on trying to beat Leighton Norgard. And Tyler Finney, Chad Frankenfield, Jeff Green gets around.
Oh no, they're back on track.
Oh my goodness.
Someone.
I think that was Joshua Personette that just went to the moon. Oh my gosh.
And that all started with the 2 guys who are usually aggressive between
the biggest fan.
Oh boy!
Literally, you couldn't pick the 3 bestest of friends: Tyler Fode, Chad Frankenfield, and Scott Crump involved, and then Joshua Personette just absolutely flying above the field. We didn't get a flyover at the beginning of the race, but we got it right there.
On the 19, Justin Wadsworth had a truck land on him.
I think that blew up the 19. I think that actually killed Justin Wadsworth's car.
It did, yeah.
Oh my gosh, no!
I've never seen that happen. At least the roll cage is built pretty good because it looks like Justin's okay, but unfortunately,
usually that car that comes back down is like ghosted out and it doesn't actually affect him. But I've never seen it where it actually comes back down like that and that height. Usually iRacing does a pretty good job and just is like, all right, that, they ghost that car and it's visually there, but it's not actually literally there. But you'll see right here, the 19, I mean, he probably didn't even see it.
He did everything right. And it's crazy. And usually when you see that happen too, the motor doesn't get damaged like it did. Look at the excess damage to the front end of
oh my gosh, that was like if someone's really good at Photoshop, put in a twister and CGI twister, and that looks like CGI twister right there. Just absolutely hammered him. He had missed the entire wreck thinking he was perfect. He didn't even see him until like millisecond before it happened.
So I got to ask you, have you ever seen Sharknado? Because this is like Trucknado.
Is this Sharknado?
I think this is Sharknado. Oh boy, is right.
I think he was hanging back there trying to, anticipating a wreck, and he probably thought this was great news for him. But I mean, boy, that is awful for Mark Murphy, Joshua Personette, Justin Wadsworth. I don't know how much damage.
You can see the shadow coming at him.
Oh boy.
Oh, he got like net coated worse with that front end damage. The way that car kind of reacted to that.
It didn't even hit the front end. I don't know what was going on there.
I think there's some weird net code going on. But the other thing, we see that 12 car kind of sneaking through there. We seen him start. He was up front. We seen him go on the apron, go to the back of the pack, and it did end up paying off for him, as I believe he didn't make any contact with any other car. So a good move by Norgard, who's still in that title fight.
He's saying he has like 31 minutes of required. That's how hard it got hit. Let's go back and see what happened with Chad Frankenfield and see exactly what caused that wreck. I'm going to feel like there was a bump draft gone wrong.
Yep, and again, Chad's gonna always be aggressive, trying to get to the front. Oh, he's gonna peek out. Oh, maybe not a bump draft gone wrong, but
After that long, it's kind of like, okay, I think Chad just then those three drivers you see right there were locked in. Jeff Green was not. I'm hoping Jeff Green's not too bad. I think he's going to have a little bit of damage, but I think he'll still have a chance out here. But person that wasn't in it, but the 69 Mark Murphy, I don't know if he was in the chase or not. Yeah, he was. So the 19 of Wadsworth and Mark Murphy there, I feel really, really bad for. Their races are done.
So we see it's ruled a racing incident there by the race
Really?
admin, and well, to me there too, it looked like, you know, Chad's trying to peek his nose in there and never really let off. And Fody did also throw a block that, you know, generally on lap two that you wouldn't want to do. So to me,
at what point on lap what, 2 or 3 do you realize, like, maybe, you know, he's already in front of you, maybe lift just a little. Especially,
I think both could be said for both drivers, really.
Yeah, I think just bad.
just bad. Mark Murphy.
Yeah, Mark Murphy getting.
You can see the grass.
Yeah, it looks a little long. This might need some more lawn seat out there as well.
Mark Murphy's season going up and over. So unfortunate for him as well. Yeah, but that's gonna make the field even shorter. I think Jeff Green is probably okay. I think Tyler Fody, Scott Crump, and Chad Frankenfield, the three guys that were initially involved in that, I think they're all fine. The drivers further back that had nothing to do with it are all really bad off. So I think right now we're showing 3 drivers 1 lap down or more. So I think what we're seeing here is going to be an even shorter field. We'll see how aggressive they are now.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the aggression level maybe at least to start out with kind of toned down a little bit, especially, you know, we might only have, I see Jeff Green, he's currently scored in 15th. He's still got some damage on that truck. There's going to be a few trucks with some damage. Chad and Dewar up in that around that 13th position. I don't know if Dewar got any damage from that wreck, but that being said, so you potentially only have, you know, roughly about 13 of these 22 cars that don't have any damage left. So it's going to be slim pickings out here. I'm sure they're still going to put on a good show, and you know what? They'll probably prove me wrong here as well once we go back to green.
Well, aggression goes 2 ways. We saw what happened there on the bottom with aggressive blocking and aggressive behavior from some of those guys. But aggressiveness also got those top 3 drivers right there. Casey Hatch, Ethan Burrell, Jonathan Gottlieb. They were the first ones to jump up to the 3 wide situation all the way up to the top. And now look at them, running 1, 2, 3 and avoided that wreck. So aggression's going to go both ways. And I think drivers are going to have to take note of that. That although what happened there with Chad Frankenfield and Fody could have been avoided, should have been avoided. That I don't know is so much because of how the racetracks are or how the truck is. I think it's just those drivers. So we'll see. We'll see how these drivers react. But so far, 3 wide seems to have worked for at least our leaders up here.
Green flag back out, and note too that Chad and Fody were 2 guys who joined late in practice, who maybe didn't get that bump draft memo that a lot of these guys did with that full hour of practice. So lesson learned, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see here, though. They'll hopefully stay back there and learn a little bit of how the drafting is going on up here. But so far, the inside line looks really good on the start, but that outside lane, as our leader's blinking here, that outside lane is really, really touched up against each other. They're gonna have a run here on that outside.
I think that outside forming up. We'll see if anyone breaks off and maybe tries to go 3 wide, but looks like they're all going to stay in line with some of those damaged cars. I think still trying to get a feel for what their car is going to have once they get up to speed. You see Chad kind of hanging on with the pack there too with his damage. So, you know, some of these guys like Chad and Jeff Green, Scott Crump, Fody that got in that wreck. All the Crump's kind of off the pace right now. You know, they might be able to draft, but winning might be a little bit more difficult. But as long as you time it right, all you got to do is lead at the line. So, as you said before, with a guy like Jeff Green, there's still a puncher's chance for these boys out here tonight.
Yeah, Scott Crump has lost the draft, but overall, 18 drivers still attached up to it. Tyler Fody at the end of that line there. So it looks like some of those drivers still okay. Chad Frankfield, Jeff Green still holding on there in the draft as well, right behind his teammate of Dustin Dewar. So a lot of these drivers still having a decent truck behind them. And then the draft here, if you're tucked up behind someone, even a little bit of damage is not the end of your night.
Yeah, it's still should be able to keep on going here, but up front, those two guys who were making those 3 wide moves under the initial green flag. Oh, Jess Story gets a little squirrely there out of the tri-oval, but Ethan Burrell and Casey Hatch still holding up front. Although the top side line losing momentum now.
Yeah, you're seeing some drivers getting a little bit antsy, starting to drop back. They see a little bobble, and all of a sudden you see drivers starting to hit the brake pedal, go to the back. But here comes a big run on our leaders here to give maybe a bump here. Looks like the 11's going to have a strong run on that outside with Ethan Burrell.
Got those two Toyotas pushing on the top side, putting a Cutlip in a position. He's one of those guys who for the most part needs a win tonight to get into the final 5, and he's going to make a run for it on the top side. Casey Hatch looking to play spoiler here a little bit, not being in the playoffs whatsoever, but looking like he has a stout Mountain Dew, whatever flavor Mountain Dew that is.
Whatever flavor Mountain Dew is a good I think that's mellow yellow on the car, but that's okay. That's not
the opposite of Mountain Dew.
Not really Mountain Dew.
Oh, no, Mountain Dew on the inside. I'm talking about Hatch.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
we got a Mountain Dew mellow yellow battle here. Oh,
yeah.
my.
Yeah. I didn't know we had competition for the soda drink competition.
Yeah, I didn't realize that though. What citrus soda is your favorite? What would you guys prefer, Mountain Dew or Mellow Yellow? I got to ask you.
I kind of like the Starry that's out right now. I'm pretty partial to the Starry.
I like a good Mellow Yellow. Starry's not bad. It's more of a Sprite, I suppose, but that's pretty good.
My urologist said not to drink it, so that's okay.
Well, I think Mellow or Starry replaced Sierra Mist. I think it was.
I think you're right.
Well, the fans are wanting to know more about the trucks here, but
let's run down the top
overall, Mellow Yellow is taking the lead. Yeah. But it looks like Mellow Yellow truck up there with his help from his teammate. I think they're just taking it easy. I don't think they're really pushing too hard. I don't think they want to overheat their engines. So for right now, it looks pretty calm and orderly. As we say that, Dustin Dewar jumps to the outside with zero help to him.
Yeah, not looking good for Dewar. Maybe Jeff Green. Oh, he looks like he'll get ahead of the 22 there of Andrew Hardcastle.
It keeps looking. Oh, wow. That was kind of a dodgy maneuver there. But, we'll see how Dusty does. He usually is on these super speedways, ends up being a competitor at some point in the race here.
And now Hardcastle going, maybe trying to get into the back of the pack after that move. Might be like, I'm going to hang out in the back here a little bit. As for the most part, the field kind of almost as if you were under pace laps, 2x2 throughout this 18 cars that are still with this lead pack, still within about a second of each other. Besides Scott Crump there, we do see him going a lap down. There is a lot of damage to Crump's number 90 machine there.
Is he going to come back up? Oh, okay. You have to wonder with him and Chad anytime they're around each other. But, yeah, Scott Crump is going to have to be very thankful that he won the last time out, that he locked himself in because really didn't have anything to lose tonight, but I'm pretty sure he didn't want it to end up like this either. But still not going to be the end of his season. He's going to still have a chance to go for the championship. But as we say that, let's go through the field of some of our drivers that maybe the fans need to keep an eye on that have to really, really get this victory here. And one of those is going to be Jonathan Cutlip in that Mellow Yellow car leading the outside lane. He's one of those drivers with the yellow or with the red marker on it. The second one, the next running driver that has to try to get himself in is Ethan Burrell. Technically in right now, but win would lock him in. Points right now lock him in as well. Cody McCorkle there in the red, so he is one of those drivers trying to get himself up. He is in the 7th position. And then we have a Leighton Norgard, who was right there in the 5th position coming in tonight, the last final spot, running in 8th, just in shouting distance of 4th place driver Ethan Burrell. Corey Abbott there in 10th position. And I believe that's Dustin Dewar trying to get the outside rolling once again. Might actually get some help from his teammate, Jeff Green. Oh, Foda going up there. A few drivers going. So Dustin Dewar, one of those. Jeff Green back there in 15th position, trying to work his way up to the front now. Another one of those drivers trying to get himself in. And then other than that, I think everyone else is out. Mark Murphy and Wadsworth. Those drivers, their chances are done. So keep an eye on that, as we do see the outside rolling really strong right now.
Yeah, that's the third lane getting a run. Dustin Dewar pushing Boutwell. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Sam up on the top line. They're looking pretty stout with only now 3 cars, maybe dropping back here a little bit. One thing I gotta mention too, Gerald. Now we're down to about 19 cars on track. Scott Crump might be only a matter of time before he goes 6 laps down and has to park it for the night. That virtually puts, it's just all but mathematically a given now that Jonathan Cutlip has to win to advance into the final 5 here, because I believe either Nogard or Ethan Burrell, if they finish in the back of the pack at 18th, it's going to be tight. They basically have to be winning the race to get themselves in that position anyway. So, and I think any guy in the red, you can pretty much say that they have to get in a victory lane here tonight.
Absolutely. Well, you see how important that is. You see his teammate there of Ethan Burrell right behind Jonathan Cutlip, trying to push him to the victory. If Ethan Burrell finishes second, he's A-okay with that because he will lock himself in on points. But we see a couple drivers starting to drop to the back. Leighton Orgar, one of those. He sees 3 wide racing and is not going to be about it this early on. He is points racing for tonight, so he's dropped back. But you see 3 wide now going for the lead of this event.
Yeah, it's for Nogard. That's basically all he can do is just make sure he's around at the checkered. He'll more than likely get in unless one of these guys in the red wins tonight. And man, they're all getting a little bit more aggressive here as we're on lap 15 of 66. You still see Ethan Burrell giving a good push to Jonathan Cutlip in that middle lane, but those 2 cars up top, they're still hanging on. They're fighting. They're scrapping. You got Sam in 5th, Dusty in 8th as they're running 3 wide right now and looking pretty stout. If they get a couple more trucks up there to help them, they might have a chance to get up to the front.
Yeah, I was surprised Fody didn't actually stay up there. I don't know if his damage is not helping him, but he's usually one of those that is very opt to trying to help another lane get going. But I think what's really saving that outside lane is Dustin Dewar doing a really good job of staying right behind Sam Batwell, doing an amazing job getting that outside just with 2 of them going there. So we'll have to see if someone's going to have to eventually realize how effective that outside lane is and decide to go up there. But right now, still kind of just staying even here down the straightaways.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was going to also mention about Dustin Dewar. I would say him as a pusher on these super speedway tracks, I will put him I'll trust him about with anyone in the field. Usually people like when he is on their back bumper because he'll push you to the front, and he's mastered that craft right now. He's doing his best. Now he's got a little bit more help on that outside. See if they can get that top line up front, but still that battle of the citrus flavored sodas of the Mountain Dew and Mellow Yellow battling it out for the lead as we're on lap 17 now of 66.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing that outside lane. Jeff Green giving a good shove here now. I think we will start seeing that outside lane starting to gain here. This what you see in the camera shot. This is the full field. It's not like a normal super speedway where we're used to 40 drivers. This is it. So these drivers know who they have to beat. It's almost, how a lot of the super speedways end up getting at the end of a long race, and there's only a few guys with a chance at it. You're already got that feeling. So all these drivers have to have that pent up urge to try to get up to the front here because they know there's not going to be huge lines to help move. You're going to have to try to find your way up to the front and try to stay up there because it's just not going to have a lot of help with pushers to get up there.
Yeah, and one thing I actually found that was interesting that not a lot of drivers decided to pit under that caution or did. Oh, no, they did. I think everyone did come down pit road, right?
Oh, no. It was Fody and I think that was Cody McCorkle involved and Sam Batwell.
I think Dewar got involved in that as well, or at least he got close in that.
I don't think he did. I think Fody and McCorkle made contact. No caution.
No caution.
Oh boy. So Cody McCorkle with a ton of damage. We'll have to go. I don't think Dustin Dewar was involved in this. You'll see Fody make contact with Cody McCorkle there. And I think he got turned. Yeah, he got turned. And then back out into Sam Batweld. Dustin Dewar slows down.
Oh, yeah.
Which you would think would be a good thing. But I think he's lost the draft.
I think a lot of these guys lost the draft, and you were just talking about how important it is, to have those guys pushing. But now that field's going to be spread out, and the fuel window, they're going to have to probably pit at least one more time here throughout the race. And now what was only an 18-car battle, and how about Chad Frankenfield up there? He's the last car in this group of 7 here. That are up front. So I think these guys that kind of lagged in the back, they got to hope for a caution. But now with the field so thin, it could very well be hard to come by. I
think this was horrible news for Do Good Motorsports. I'm sorry to say, but I don't see a wreck happening with 7 drivers, at least not yet. I think maybe near the end, but I think drivers are now starting to realize that maybe trying to cause a gap is going to be the best strategy. We'll see if that backpack is able to catch back up, but there's 7 in this draft. Let's see how much is in the other pack here. I don't know if it's 7.
I think there's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, 4.
And then in the next pack behind them, I think Dewar and Fody are kind of together. You got Boutwell kind of on his own.
Man, they really need to slow down to get the whole pack. I think their worst thing they could do is try to think that they can catch a 7-car pack. They should really start to try to slow down here.
Yeah, almost slow down. Get all these cars that are kind of lagging back all bunched up together. But McCorkle, he might be he had the kind of the worst end of it. He's got a ton of damage.
Yeah, he's got a ton of damage. I mean, he made contact with the back. He made contact with the front. I mean, he's already now 29 seconds back. He's way off the pace right now. I think he might even have a little bit of engine damage. As you see, it looks like it's even hard for him to steer right now. So I think his chances of being able to make it in is pretty much out the window as well.
Yeah, there you see Scott Crump going 6 laps down. Now he is parked for the night. So now there's only 18 cars on track, but guys like McCorkle and Corey Abbott, the guys who needed a win to try to get into the final 5 right now are in danger if they don't catch a pack. At least to go in a lap down at first, they might be able to hang with it. But McCorkle definitely some heavy damage on that car. But now you see these leaders forming up single file.
I think they're going to try to prevent that. Is exactly what's happening here. They are they realize they have the numbers advantage, and I think they're just going to try to race it out between themselves at this point.
And just looking at, was it Jeff Green? It's going to be Jesse Rasmus leading that second pack, I do believe. Right?
Another driver this is really, really, really bad news for is the Leighton Norgard. He's 5th on points right now, but he's in one of those packs that's really far back. He's now 6 seconds back. I think he's teamed up with Andrew Hardcastle. Why that's going to be such a big issue for him is because that top 7 pack, Jonathan Cutlip's leading it. He's got his teammate right behind him in second. He's got his teammate riding in 4th. Almost half of the main pack is Pro Wedge drivers, and they probably only have one thing in mind, and that's pushing Jonathan Cutlip to a win tonight. And I don't think that's...
We might have to hold the phone here. I'm just watching Jesse leading that second pack, trying to chase down. They are faster. They closed in. I believe about maybe a 10th and a half. I would say if I did math correctly, which is not my strong suit. But that pack definitely closing in. There you see. Oh wow, that last lap really making some hay with almost 0.3 of a second.
I think they're father and son, aren't they? I believe they are father and son. And the Rasmuses.
Yep, that is correct. Yep.
And it's pronounced Racimus is what we've determined.
Oh, Racimus.
It's too
Oh.
late at this point.
Yeah.
You tell me at
But Gerald doesn't
race
care.
number 15, you're going to tell me their last name is different. I don't think so, buddy. It's going to be Rasmus until the end of the season, and we can try anew for next. But at this point, they are absolutely quicker. They are almost 3/10. I think that last time by. Yeah.
Here they come. You see them right now in the screenshot. So I thought maybe by the time they pit, you had to pit under green flag conditions that catch this group, but it might be a lot quicker than that, and that would basically bring everyone that's with them. I think Dustin Dewar, besides Sam Boutwell, Corey Abbott, and McCorkle, that we just seen him go a lap down. Everyone that kind of is out on the racetrack will be in this lead pack once again. So kind of surprising. Man, they are coming with a head of steam.
Yeah, I think this is great news for a lot of drivers involved here. You see Leighton Orgard actually getting some help to take the lead of the pack here on the outside. They're already racing each other back there. But I think that's actually hurting them a lot.
I think, well, let's see, by the lap times last time, yes, that did. I think it did slow them down just a little bit. No, they're still about 3/10 faster. Sometimes it does help, Gerald. I think it depends on the package, but it reduces the amount of checkup if you're just running single file. So sometimes running 2x2 can be a little bit quicker, but I think, again, you have to do it just right. Actually, no, I guess stand corrected. It was, it hurt quite a bit.
I mean,
I take that back.
They were catching by a lot, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, they were about 3.5 seconds back. Now they're 3.8 seconds back. So we'll see. Now that they got formed up again, oh man, hopefully they got it formed up and back going. And Norgard is where he wants to be, and they can draft their way up to the front.
Yeah, I think Leighton Orgard he sees what's going on up front, and he is desperate to get up there to try to stop that from happening. So right now he's leading that pack and trying to get a shove right now from Hardcastle to try to get up there. But we'll keep an eye on that tracker. Up front still is Cutlip and Ethan Burrell, but we're on lap 26. Pit stops, I would have to believe, are probably 15 laps away or somewhere in there.
Say roughly 10 laps on the low end, 15 for sure. These guys will be down pit road. And speaking of Norgard too, in that second pack, being desperate, I think almost any other scenario, if it wasn't Jonathan Cutlip leading this race, because he's one of those guys, win and he's in, and that would make Norgard out. So the only way he can control his destiny is if that 11 car doesn't win. And right now it doesn't look so good. But if Cutlip was back in that pack with him, I don't think Norgard would really care too much, because he would be in at that point.
I think at this point, it's either going to be a caution with Leighton Norgard getting hit so hard by getting turned, or they're going to find their way up there, one or the other, because that Hardcastle, number 22, I believe is his teammate, and is pushing extremely hard on the back bumper. And they are starting to slowly but surely reel themselves back up to them. But not nearly as good as they were early on, but still looks like to be a net gain so far.
Yeah, this, as you see on the tracking, still about 0.2 of a second last lap by, and I've noticed Jess Story kind of lagging a little bit farther back, which might be slowing down this pack just a little bit too, to help that group behind them catch up. But although they slowed down again, they were just down to about 3.4 seconds. Now they're down to 4 seconds again. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here with that second pack.
Yeah, it's a little back and forth, just depending on how the push goes to them. But right now, Hardcastle still, has been dedicated to the back bumper of that 12. That back pack is also starting to lose drivers. So you got to imagine a lot of those drivers in that second pack are also damaged. You got Jeff Green back there with a ton of damage. You've got, I believe Fode's back there in that backpack as well, and he's got some damage, as well as some other drivers. But right now, that front pack is all clean except for Chad Frankenfield. So I think advantage goes to the front pack with at least the drivers that maybe have a clean truck behind them.
Yeah, and again, I think the lead pack's going to be in the catbird seat too, especially if that second pack doesn't catch him before the green flag pit stops, I would think you'd want to catch him by the time you hit pit road, be with that lead pack. But if these guys up front head down pit road, go together, come out together, and you're not caught up to them yet, it's just setting yourself up kind of further behind the 8-ball as we're getting a little bit closer here to halfway, just a couple more laps till we hit halfway of tonight's event.
Yeah, drivers that are having bad night. Corey McCorkle's a lap down. Corey Abbott is just within now going a lap down. So another driver that was right on the bubble. And I got to say, I think out of anybody this season who I thought could have pointed his way in was going to be Corey Abbott. If you go back and look at his statistics, he was just a top 10 machine. Just every race, just having solid finishes to be able to get himself up there. Had a really, really good season. And the last couple of races have been some tough luck for Corey Abbott. And unfortunate for him, unless there's something major changes, I don't see him getting his way in right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the gifts and curses of having a playoff system, like a lot of racing series do nowadays. Because a guy like Corey Abbott, who had that momentum in the regular season, things are looking good. Also, the playoffs start, you kind of get in a slump that kind of ends your season. Whereas guys who might have just snuck in, had a little bit rough go of it, if they keyed up, get their momentum the iron striking hot at the right time, hey, you could be getting in a championship. Speaking of a guy too that's just getting hot at the right time, Jonathan Cutlip, having his teammate pushing him, Ethan Burrell, so far so good, but still a long way to go.
Yeah, that Lee group just gained another driver with Corey Abbott getting to the back of them, and they're picking up the lap traffic, and it's helping them. Corey Abbott's now swung to the back of that group, and now they are back to going fast again to the shimmy of those guys behind him. The Lee group usually is going to be the vacuum cleaner and picking up the loose debris of drivers and adding to their speed. So that front pack is now once again pulling away just a little bit.
Yeah, they're looking pretty stout right now. I think it's almost going to get into a desperation point. Do you try maybe short pitting on somewhat of a short end once you kind of know you can make it? If you're in that second pack, trying to get on and off pit road first to see if you can maybe group together, and I don't know. I don't know what else you can really do if you're in that second pack. Just hope something happens maybe.
Well, we're seeing the backpack starting to move around just a little bit. It looks like some drivers switching around, trying to see if they can find some hay. And all of a sudden, now that backpack is starting. They just picked up half a second that last lap, so it's not over yet. I think they got to go in whenever the lead pack goes in the front, because they may end up picking up some of those drivers that don't have a decent pit stop. But before we do that, let's give it over to Dave. He's going to give our sponsor shout outs out tonight. We're already at the halfway point, and give some thanks to those that allow us to be able to broadcast for tonight.
All right, our race sponsor for tonight is Black Magic Designs. Black Magic Designs is a small team of custom iRacing car painters and photographers dedicated to a quality customer experience, with paint starting as low as $15. You can find us on Facebook or Discord, Black Magic Designs, where the paint is 2/10. Our series sponsor is Stay Tuned Sports. Stay Tuned Sports was started in 2016 by two friends, even though hating each other's teams, with the purpose of producing a sports show like no other. They wanted to create a show that would cover all major sports with a little bit of comedy mixed in. Stay Tuned Sports releases weekly episodes covering the NFL, the NHL, Major League Baseball, and even some college football. So if you're looking for some hot takes mixed in with some good ball busting, then this is the show for you. Stay Tuned Sports, your home for sports nonsense. Our premier sponsors for this year, TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. TA Services team make ship happen. Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg Marketing is marketing departments from all businesses. For constraints catalyze creativity, we help businesses punch above their weight class. Finally, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois. just east of St. Louis, Missouri. It features a 1.25 mile NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Open Wheel Series track. It also has a 2-mile infield road course used by Trans Am, SCA, and Porsche Club of America, a quarter-mile NHRA drag strip that Nationals event, and a Kartplex state-of-the-art karting facility. And I think I got that all in right before they're going to the pit.
Absolutely. Good job. Perfect timing. Yeah, everyone coming down to the pits. We'll see if anyone stays out. Doesn't look like it. A couple people have. Andrew Hardcastle. I don't know. He's the only one out there. I don't think that was a good move there. But, yeah, we'll see if anyone drops back. Almost looks like the backpack was really aggressive in that coming on to pit road. And they almost come back. It's all one group.
Yeah, if they get on and off pit road as they got on, well, see how well they get off. It looks like they did close quite a bit of the gap, so that could be a factor once they get off pit road here. You see, I think Jeff Green only taking left side tires. See some cars already moving down pit road. Jonathan Cutlip leading the charge here. Some guys,
yeah.
Jeff Green. I think
we're gonna have to see.
We're gonna have a bigger pack, I think, now.
As long as Do Good doesn't make contact coming off the pit road.
Hey.
They were pretty close there. They're slamming into each other.
Play nice, boys. Come on.
Yeah, this is a very, very important pit stop here. Coming on and off pit road. You see Chad, he made a bunch of positions there. That spread out the field. I think we're going to have one big group again. I mean, I don't think the top 3 guys are going to be able to get away. Not like they were when they had 7 drivers. Here Chad goes.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, Chad's already like, nah, this ain't working. This ain't working, boys.
Especially with that kind of a parachute of that damage on his front bumper as well, and that's going to create that second pack to close in quite a bit. But there are some guys I think we're going to see a bigger pack than what we've seen before those green flag pit stops. But I think there's some guys that might be hurting a little bit more than what it maybe initially looked like. Michael Holsack, Jeff Green, Tyler Fode, Dustin Dewar.
Yeah, they didn't get a good deal on this. I think they came out 3 wide and they're still battling side by side with each other, and I think they've lost the group.
Yeah, and they're about 6 seconds back now, so they got some heavy lifting to do, and hopefully Hardcastle can just catch the back end of this draft. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do so either.
Yeah, so unfortunate. I mean, this was not good news for. I think it made the back field smaller and the front field bigger. But we do have a bigger field in the front. But I think these drivers right here did not help them. Like a Leighton Norgard, Dustin Dewar, Jeff Green, those drivers that desperately need to be up there are not going to be in favorable position. But to their credit, they'll be happy to hear Chad Frankfield's still in the battle. And there's still a chance for this field to shrink back up again. Maybe get smaller, but shrink back up again. But, yeah, right now, Jonathan Cutlip, Ethan Burrell out front. Now a 6-second gap between the front of the field to the back of the field. But let's go ahead and do shout-outs for some of those drivers that were able to get back up to the front up there. I believe it was... No one. I don't think any of the...
it was
the same top 7.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same.
And surprisingly, like you said, it looked like that gap was closed. It even looked like coming off pit road, they were going to be able to gain a little bit of time. But as you said, too, I think the big factor was that second pack kind of all came off 2-3 wide. And I don't think they got it kind of formed up once they were on the warm-up lane on the bottom apron of the track. And they ended up losing a little bit more ground than what they initially had, because I think they were getting close to just under 4 seconds before they came down pit road.
Well, we see a little bit of discrepancy in who wants to be the leader right now. Casey Hatch able to get around the top 3 drivers, able to get back up to the front of the field. Casey Hatch, Holmes, and Harrison Talon. But my question is, we saw them pit on lap 37. That was only, 4 laps above the halfway point? Are these drivers going to make it? I mean, did they go all the way on fuel, or did they pit a little early? I'm wondering if they can make it on fuel to the end.
Well, and you know that new dreaded the auto fuel feature in iRacing, so that could get it pretty close here, and especially if you are Casey Hatch. I'm wondering if that's why Jonathan Cutlip kind of went to the back, because you can, save quite a bit more fuel being in the draft rather than leading it. So these guys are going to have to kind of work it out, especially if you're that 14 car, because it could be close. I think they should be able to make it, but you might be sweating a little bit more than you'd maybe want to cut on fuel. Holy crap, they are flying now, boys.
Yeah, I think that was also due to the fact that they're making some lead changes up here, but we'll see. They do that for one lap, and then it slows down dramatically. It's that one really good lap of being able to hook up and push before it starts overheating. If they could somehow be able to start to switch it out to where one person pushes only one lap and gain the advantage, but we'll have to see. I think they're going to get a little bit help with a lap car in front of them that they're going to be picking up here, but man, they got a lot of work ahead of them. They're absolutely not saving in that backpack.
And one guy, Dustin Dewar, talking about his pushing abilities. He's going to have to put them to the test. They're down to now under 4.5 seconds back of that lead pack, so they are definitely closing in here. And Dewar, again, it might be a Hail Mary, but he might have to get almost a second again there, you see, on the last lap.
I think that whole front pack is saving right now. I don't see any drivers pushing each other. I see them all just kind of look at the spacing in that front pack. None of them are pushing right now. None of them are right up on the back bumper. I believe it. All of them are saving. That that backpack is going to be up there, but they're going to be at a disadvantage with fuel. But as we say that, Chad Frankenfield's like, nah, gotta get up there.
And he might advance one position, see if he can get in front of Gerald, but it's kind of
you see right there. That is the tail. That is the tail right there. On his own, Chad Frankenfield able to work his way up to the front.
Yep.
They are absolutely saving fuel in this front pack. We will have these backpack catch up to them, but they will be at a disadvantage on fuel. But Chad Frankenfield saying, I want to be up front now.
Oh, well, probably because Chad's not happy unless he is leading the pack here. But and he might have.
Yeah, but if you put him out front, I mean, it doesn't matter now. The backpack is caught up, but I don't think that was going to work either because you would have had a guy with a crushed up front end leading your pack. That wouldn't have worked. But here comes Rasmus and Dustin Dewar. It's going to be Rasmus until the end of the season. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, we'll figure that out after this.
Rasmus, Chad Frankenfield, still no caution. Oh, Dustin Dewar had to check up again and is going to lose out for checking up.
Work.
Oh,
I think they might be able to form up and catch again. Fody looks like he might have got some more damage in that as well.
We go, they're back into one big group again, and then bam, immediately they check up, and we got two packs again.
There's going to be a better chance for these guys to kind of stay in this group than we had last time, as Dusty's still pushing. Now the 21 of Corey Abbott, who is one lap down, trying to hang on. He's going to the outside. Dewar's like, I'm hoping he fixed his auto fuel and maybe put some extra gas in it than some of these other guys did not do.
I think they're going to the front. For it. I don't think he's saving. I think he's betting on a caution because he's probably already at that point where he's done too much. He's done too much.
Yeah, it really does, and for Dewar too, it's a Hail Mary last second kind of attempt at trying to get into that final five, and hey,
I mean, why not? Why not? He can't make it in on points. His only chance is making it on a win. He's already avoided two narrow wrecks. Why not? I mean, your luck so far has been pretty good being able to avoid the wrecks. Yeah. Maybe just try to get out front and just see what you got, but this is lining up to be just like iRacing Super Speedway. You didn't see it though then, Goody, but it was the same thing. No one really wanted to lead, and then all of a sudden there's a couple drivers deciding that they weren't going to make it, and they took off in front of the field, and it was a battle between two different packs. The ones that said, we're not going to make it, we're just going to race this out, and the ones that held off in the back doing nothing but saving, and then there was a battle in the last three laps. So I think that's what we're setting up to see if we don't get a caution here.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see Dewar not afraid to push that 21, but it also seems like it's also doing it's kind of forcing some of these other guys Casey Hatch, Jess Story that are right behind Dusty to maybe push it just a little bit more than they wanted to. And see Jaden kind of surprised he's down. I believe he did lose the draft along with Frankenfield. Frankenfield also a lap down, so that's maybe why
let's go back to what happened there, Dave, with Chad Frankenfield and Rasmus, because that took both of those drivers out. They are now out of the race here. See if we can go back and see. It was 4 wide gone wrong. I know that. I think that was like maybe 4 laps ago.
So we look at the Mark J. Rubilis photography replay here. I wonder what's Mark doing? Is he storm chasing again? Wasn't he doing that a couple weeks ago?
Well, we should have told him we had a tornado earlier in the race. He would have been here.
He would have been. Yeah, he's probably in the infield taking some photos.
I don't know what lap this was.
Oh yeah. Oh, it didn't take. I'm surprised it didn't take that wreck.
No, that's not it either.
Yeah, it's a little.
Well, folks at home can go back and rewind and watch it, but
YouTube has that feature for rewind. Go check it out. It was interesting to see how that second pack coming up, with the head of steam like a bat out of hell, and I think just maybe some misjudging in how quick that second pack was really coming towards these guys.
Well, that did two drivers did end up not getting back up to speed quick enough and lost the draft there. Hardcastle was under pit stops. He's about to go a lap down here. And then Jesse Rasmus, the other Rasmus, checked up and lost it. You're on the wrong Rasmus. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, we might. Oh, yeah, we got her.
There you go.
Yep. How about Dusty? He did a great job trying to avoid two wrecks.
Was it? Let's see. What'd you do? I had a witty remark and everything. Mark says he's flying home from Chicago and watching the race on his flight.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, don't scream out too much at the end of this. It's pretty late at night for a flight.
Yeah, it's just the old red eye. Well, not quite a red eye.
Did Chad do what Fody did and block too late with a group of people coming really, really quickly behind him?
I think he was trying to get up in that third lane, and I think they were just coming with a more head of steam than he thought they were going to.
I mean there's plenty of room there. Then he goes back down.
Oh, then he's thinking about going down, but Burrell's already there, and then 4 wide. Chad, it looks like Chad just came down on him.
Yeah, came down on him.
Unfortunately for Jaden, that
now they can go about issuing a tally for a situation like that, because that was, even though that didn't trigger a caution, that is what's the word that they use, Goody?
Severe damage.
Severe damage penalty. So Chad could be issued a tally for that, but he's already out of the race, so won't affect how his race outcome will come. But maybe for the Scott family or the Crump family, maybe it'll be a justification at some point for him, because I know they blew up the chat, not happy with Chad being able to walk free from that incident in the beginning of the race. So.
Yeah, so sometimes if you get that aggressive, what goes around comes around, and Chad out of the race. And now these boys, none of these guys are, I think, in fuel saving mode anymore. 17 laps to go. Everyone's, I think, full speed or nothing. And man, Dustin Dewar had to get around Corey Abbott, who put himself on the tail end of the lead lap here. Dusty blocking lanes. He's trying to stay in the lead. Just Story looking on the outside, but he's got no help.
Yeah, I mean, Dusty's wanting to lead all of this at the end here. He's going to need a caution. He's going to need a caution for sure, with how, with him being up front, not wanting to save. But we'll have to see. I think some drivers are still in the mindset of saving, and then there's others where they may think that they're good. I think one of those drivers that may think that they're good right now, they're not necessarily in saving mode, but they may not be wanting to spend a lot in case there's a late race caution. I believe that's going to be the Cutlip and Ethan Burrell. They've now worked themselves back up into reach range of being able to get the lead right there in second and third position. I think they may feel like they're good on fuel, and they're just going to hold off in good position right now. I think some of the drivers in the back that were trying to work their way up to the main pack are still in fuel saving mode right now.
Yeah, just trying to roll off the throttle as much as you can. I would think a guy like Michael Hosack, kind of a few car lengths behind Harrison Talion, that they're just maybe going 50% throttle through the corners, maybe 100% just to make sure you don't lose touch with the draft, because it's definitely a tricky thing to do, Gerald, when you're kind of in this fuel saving mode to be off the throttle as much as you possibly can, but without losing this pack, with especially with Dusty, I think totally rolling the dice and going for it here.
Yeah, driver's still in chance, though. One of those drivers back there in 9th position, Jeff Green, still within shot of being able to race his way in, is right now saving fuel with 15 laps left to go. May have a shot also to be able to get up there. I mean, there's really only 2 drivers, I think, that are outside the playoffs right now that have a chance. Well, if it goes green, have a chance. If it goes green, Dustin Dewar's not going to have one. But if there's a caution, he does. But if it goes green till the end, it's Jeff Green and Jonathan Cutlip that are one of those drivers that are in the must-win situations.
Yeah, and I got to wonder, Cutlip, who led most of this race here tonight, looking pretty stout, and now he does have the benefit of his teammate behind him. So if they have enough fuel and they're linked up right now, I think those guys, as you were saying earlier, they're in the catbird seat. Those Pro Edge racers, the 11 and the 37, to win this race, to make a move. They're going to have all the help they need, and Dewar, he's going to have to hope Corey Abbott does not leave that back bumper of that 32 machine, and maybe on a whim and a prayer that he can maybe make it on fuel, but it's going to be definitely a stretch.
So the question will come, when do we start seeing the moves being played? If I'm Dustin, I'm going as long as I can and just taking just a bit of fuel if there's no caution, because he still has a chance if there's a late race caution, even after he pits. If he doesn't take a lot of fuel, he'll at least be on the lead lap for a little bit. But here comes the battle now. We were wondering when it is. Dustin's up there to block. Whoa. Oh, my goodness. The 11 up way high to try to take that lead, as looks like Dustin, no, he's going to be caught in the middle.
Yep, he's in the sucker hole now, and he's going to have to wait to get behind Jess Story. Now he's going to have Jeff Green behind him to try to at least get a teammate. Oh, but you see Tyler Fody giving a good shove to Jeff Green, but I think it was just too hard to block Jonathan Cutlip and Ethan Burrell forming up the teammates, and doing about as best as he could to block that run, but teammates prevail once again here at a plate track.
Yeah, I don't see that yellow car having anything else behind them but pink for the rest of the race. But I think we've still got quite a bit of drivers that are going to be greedy trying to get this thing. I think the 12 car is going to just... you know who I want behind me if I was not a playoff driver? I would want that 12 truck right behind me, because he wants anybody but a driver in red to win tonight if he doesn't get it, because then that means he's in. So I think I would want that 12 behind me if I'm someone like maybe Jess Story there. He's got Dustin Dewar right behind him right now pushing. They may be able to get their way up there, but still
he'll
a lot of driving.
He'll abandon him in a heartbeat, because he's got to go for that win.
Yeah, he's got to go for that win.
And that's the thing. If you're no guard too, that you see that two of your top 4 are those guys in red going for the win, and Cutlip in the lead. So if you're no guard, hopefully you can work your way up through this pack and have something to say about it. Kind of control your fate as much as you can. And with 11 laps to go, I think we're going to maybe start seeing those moves at least within a handful of laps here. So,
and then you got Ethan Burrell, who has to be very, very careful. I know he wants to push his teammate to win to get himself locked in, but also if he locks in and say something happens the last lap, he's pushing the 11, he himself gets turned, and then the 12 truck finishes 7 positions ahead of him. All of a sudden, Ethan Burrell pushed the driver that knocked him out, would be the scenario in that situation. So Ethan Burrell has got to be very careful on the aggression. He wants to help his teammate, but also he does not want to put himself in a position where he is wrecked out of the race and then up to wow. As I say that, I mean he's very aggressive doing this push with the 11 truck so far.
You know, I gotta look at the points coming in tonight. Yeah, plus 25. So he's got to finish at least 8 positions ahead of Nogard to stay ahead of him for him to be in any danger of
There's
falling
12
out of
trucks on the lead lap though.
Yeah, and then that's where it's still a slight gamble the game they're playing, but he might feel pretty safe, but as you just said, that could quickly turn here, especially 14 cars on track, 12 cars in this lead pack, and if he gets some heavy damage, because I think we're getting to that point where we're going to see, oh boy, Chad's generally a trendsetter in aggressive driving. What most people do, with 2 to go, Chad did on lap 2. So we're going to start seeing those moves that Chad was making to put him behind the wall. We're going to see all these guys doing it now pretty soon with only 9 laps to go.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think Leighton Norgard's just holding back. I think, he knows if he's not right behind Ethan Burrell, 8 points, 8 spots is a lot. So you got a few drivers that are just going to stick back there and stay back there for the rest of the race. But you got a driver like the 11 up there pushing really hard. Jess Story has nothing to lose. I don't know if he's got enough fuel or not. But driver that we haven't talked about at all, Harrison Talon. When's the last time he won? He wants to get up there and be a storyline tonight.
Yeah, especially he's had kind of a rough season.
Oh, 3 wide.
Dewar taking it 3 wide on the inside in the middle. No help, though.
No help once again. Man, I don't know what Dustin did to the field where they don't want to be there, but 3 Pro Edge leading that outside lane right now with a Pro Edge sympathizer.
Coming to a lap car with 3 wide.
Oh, no. Yeah, we're about to go up onto.
Down low.
Jeff Green, is he trying to poke his nose to help his teammate? No, it looks like he's going to stay on that bottom side. He's going to at least give Dusty room. But Dusty's going to lose a lot of track position.
Yeah, I think Dusty's going to have to go down pit road here in just a couple laps. I don't think he's got enough fuel here. But, oh, wow, I thought Pro Edge was going to – I thought the 88 was taking a look to the inside. Ooh, Harrison Talon got a little loose, didn't he?
Yeah, he almost lost it there, able to hang on.
Oh, boy, it is getting spicy out there right now. Palms are sweaty. Weak arm spaghetti, as Eminem would say, as we are coming to 7 laps to go in this event.
And Jonathan Cutliff getting that good push on the outside, holding a slight advantage, but now Just Story on the inside trying to play spoiler. Who's going to lead? Oh, Dewar getting a little squirrely as well, almost pushes into Harrison Talion. Dewar's still trying to make that middle line work.
He's just trying to put people in compromising situations so he can get a caution right now. But right now, Pro Edge looking very strong on the outside.
We're going to get one. He's flying.
Oh, Dusty, hard into the wall.
And again, that aggression as caution coming out, second caution of the night. That will change everything. It will. And Dustin's chance to get in that final 5. But I think Dewar just making an aggressive block here.
No, that was a clean pass. That was a clean maneuver.
Harry maybe bumps him here. Oh,
yeah, Harry. Harry may have turned him.
And it's going to, I think Harry's blew a motor, and the 32 definitely done after that wild ride. Second car of the night. We've seen that area of the track go sky pilot there.
Yeah. Well, as bad luck hits Dustin Dewar there, as you're going to go on board. This is not going to be a fun ride.
Take your Dramamine.
Yeah. Where's Mark? This is not what you want your plane to do. Upside down and around.
Ooh. Man, oh man. Another guy getting a view of the grass. Ends up on 4 wheels. I don't think he's going to be able to do the Dale Earnhardt, get out of the ambulance and fire that car back up. It looks done.
I think the first thing you do after that is you step out of your truck and you puke.
Yeah,
just about.
And there goes Mom's spaghetti. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Mark, that is not what you want your airplane to do, but if it does, you will beat the paramedics there. So that's one bit of good news. As you do get some drivers coming down pit road.
Some staying out.
It's a split decision. Pro Edge coming down, maybe expecting a lot of A lot of maybe late race cautions here.
Getting that green white checkered. Again with that fuel. As many cars as we've seen trying to save fuel under that last green flag run. I'm surprised we don't see everyone down pit road to see if they can, make it a couple green white checkers. Because if you're Jeff Story, Jeff Green, Tyler Fode, No Guard, Casey Hatch, these guys are all going to have to, potentially come down pit road if we start getting a bunch of cautions and we start getting into overtime.
Well, bad news for Harrison Talon and Dustin Dewar leads to good news for Corey Abbott. That's going to put him back on the lead lap here, so his chances of being able to come back and get a win here is still within reach, because there's only 10 drivers once he gets back on the lead lap that are even going to be on the lead lap. So 10 drivers, not a lot for the end of this race, but I don't think that's going to cut down on the drama.
I don't think it's going to cut down on the drama. Indeed, I think one guy it's good news for is Ethan Burrell, because we were talking about him losing those 8 points to No Guard, if that could even potentially happen, for him to be in that bubble spot in the yellow if we do see Jonathan Cutlip or maybe Jeff Green win this race now, or Corey Abbott now he's back on lead lap. So that puts I think Ethan Burrell, we've seen him kind of going for it anyway, Gerald. So I don't think anything's really going to change, but
no,
just a little bit safer than he was before the caution.
We're going to see 3 wide in effect here. And by the way, Goody, Mark wanted me to let you know that he saw Dustin Dewar's car go by his window seat. So he could see it from his plane view there. But yeah, overall, we got some.
Did he give him a high five as Dewar was in the sky? That's the
real question.
Dewar
was too busy holding on.
That might be fair.
To be honest. But yeah, we got new storylines up the front here. We got Story up there still, who's racing really strongly.
I see what you did there. Good. That was a good one.
Yeah. Boom.
Storyline.
Nailed it. Storyline for Jeff Story. Or Jeff Story. Yep. Yep. Love it.
It's not a joke if you have to spell it out.
Yeah. That's what's funny about it.
Okay. All right. Well, new storyline here. Justice up front, but overall, Jeff Green up there as well. I'm surprised the 29 did not pit, to be honest with you, because he could have. He was one of those that was aggressive from early on, so I'm guessing he's probably saving a lot right now under caution as pace car lights are off. But Fode up there, we haven't seen him since that wreck on the early laps. Casey Hatch up there. And then we've got the Pro Edge Doomsday team there, as they are in the 5th, 6th, and 7th position there. So Pro Edge taking up those positions. And then you've got Michael Hozek, Leighton Norgard, and Corey Abbott rounding out the top 10. Another driver that's probably happy with the field going down on size a little bit more there would probably be Ethan Burrell. Now with only 10 drivers and only 8 spots being the difference between him and a Leighton Norgard, Leighton has to now think of this as he has to go up there and try to win it. Because if not, there's still 3 drivers in red in the top 10. That 12 truck has to go into this thinking, well, I have to be up there too at this point now.
Yeah, I think he's got at least to run up front to attempt to control his fate to make sure you don't see Jeff Green, Jonathan Cutlip, or Corey Abbott win this race, and you're the guy getting left out. But the other thing too, I don't think we're done having wrecks. We have 2 cars up front in your top 3 of Jeff Green and Tyler Fode have fairly significant damage. They can hang in the pack, but now they're potentially going to have a chance to lead a pack. And might slow up these guys behind them just a little bit too much, and they might make some aggressive moves. So, coming to the green, we'll have 3 laps to go. These guys are going to be chomping on the bit, and even though we only have 10 cars on lead lap, it could still be a wild one here. Sit tight. I hope, Mark, you got your seatbelt on right now.
Absolutely. Make sure you kick back and relax for this one, because this is about to get a little crazy here. If you're leading that outside, the last thing you want to see is going to see a Pro Edge number 11 behind you, because right behind him is going to be 2 other Pro Edges, I guarantee. And the last thing that you'll see right before the finish line is those 3 trucks taking a different lane from you and passing you by. So we'll have to see how some of these drivers are going to be able to stay up front with their strategy. As here they come, it's going to be a natural green white checker here with 3 laps to go. They are green flag once again. And big checkups there throughout the field as they start get going there.
And the top side is going to be a little more disciplined. Casey Hatch already looking to the outside. He's going to try to block Jonathan Cutlip as these guys trying to get up to speed. I think that was the difference. Jeff Green with that little bit of damage, maybe not getting up to speed as quick as Casey Hatch would have liked, but that might have hurt Jonathan Cutlip a little bit if that top line doesn't get warmed up.
It hurt Jonathan Cutlip a lot because there's no Pro Edge lined up behind him right now, and he is out by himself. Pro Edge is actually pushing that bottom lane and actually hurting his chances, so not good for Jonathan Cutlip at all. But right now, Jeff Green looking pretty good with Michael Hosek right behind him. We might see Jeff Story jump up to the high side to try to block it, but no. Enough. Here comes Jeff Green to the lead here with 2 laps coming to go.
2 laps to go. No one really getting a distinct advantage as Casey Hatch on the top side leading that top line. They're getting pushed to the front. We thought they were done. Holy man, Jonathan Cutlip pushes Casey Hatch. They cleared the field.
Yeah, they cleared all the way up to the front. Now new drivers up to the high side there as Jonathan Cutlip now in second position. It's going to probably be looking to try to take advantage of the 14. It hooks him a little bit up to the high side. I think we're almost into a wrecking situation here as they are all over the place.
Oh, man, Jeff Story gets below the yellow line. He gets back up in front of Fody.
Oh, boy, I don't think we're coming back to the white flag without seeing someone turned.
I can't believe they haven't wrecked yet.
Oh, here we go. Jeff Green getting hit again. Oh, no, Jeff Green involved. Casey Hatch. Oh, boy.
And Hatch really trying to get aggressive there, and that's looking good now for Jonathan Cutlip as he'll have the lead.
Trey Holmes' engine is blown.
Oh, boy.
Rasmus is destroyed. Jeff Green's got a lot of damage. The 14, I think the 14 was just getting pushed really hard. And then he just had no control over the truck there. He just kept getting into Jeff, and around they went. Jeff Green's got a ton of damage.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. Hoping he was going to be able to finish one of these. He always talks about his luck, how he never really can have the luck that he wants, and that seems to continue here now.
You see, he just got hooked again. The 14 did. He just kept getting hit.
Yeah, it looked like that pack. Even though there was only 10 cars, it reminded me of the old tandem drafting days at Talladega.
Wow. Go on board with the 12 there. Leighton Orgard did an amazing job of not being involved in that.
He sure did. Well, yeah, we're on the Mark Robilas photography replay here.
I mean, didn't even touch the wall.
And you see Jeff Green coming back up.
Wow. That is a really good job by Leighton Orgard being able to miss that wreck. I mean, all in front of him. I mean, just that he was on that downshifter as he was going there. He got it right down.
But his work's not done. He's scored in 7th right now.
No, I mean technically right now he's out of the championship with John Cutlip leading right now.
Why does it show Ethan leading? Is that something messed up on my screen?
That's here? On your end there. Jonathan Cutlip's leading right now with Michael Haas.
There we go. Yep. Now it's all fixed. Never mind.
Yeah, so right now, even though Leighton Orgard did an amazing job there, he is technically out of the championship 5 right now with Jonathan Cutlip leading. I mean, Jonathan Cutlip has no help behind him, or I should say, does not have his teammates' help behind him at this point. But what happened to Ethan Burrell? Is he a lap down?
Ethan Burrell is on pit road. I don't believe he's a lap down as of yet. But did he get any damage from that caution or last wreck? I didn't see anything.
I didn't see any either, but I'm showing him in 10th right now. No, I'm not sure why. Okay, we'll have to see. He went down pit road, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Especially if Nogard does get up to, really in 1st or 2nd place, that might put him in the bubble position if Cutlip can stay up front and win this race.
They tagged him for a crash lap 6.
No, so maybe there was after the caution.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He
blew up. He blew his engine. Did he downshift? Oh no, he blew his engine.
That could be huge.
Oh no. Oh my goodness, he blew his engine. I think he downshifted.
Did he money shifted it? Oh,
he
man.
money shifted it and blew his engine after the wreck. He got through the wreck. Can you go on board and let's see his RPMs there?
Okay, how far did he need to go back to the crash?
Right there. No. You were good right there. As soon as he downshifts it, that's when that engine's going to blow up. You're going to see the RPMs go from probably like 5 or 6 to 10 and be done. So he gets past this. It's going to be a little ways down the road. Ethan Burrell is in serious trouble right now.
I think he downshifted there.
No, not yet. It's going to be in the middle of the turn.
Or he's letting off here. We can watch those if they spike here.
You'll know because they'll be in red. So I think he had it in clutch and he downshifted too many times.
Yep.
Oh, there it goes. Yep. You see it pegged at 8. It pegged and went pop.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
And there's lap cars passing him right now. He's going to go back further than 10th.
Yeah, and so Nogard right now, if all the lap cars are still on track,
Sam Batweld will pass him. Cody McCorkle will pass him.
Yeah,
I think he's going to go back to like 12th.
That makes Nogard's position a lot easier to get ahead of Burrell and potentially put him in that danger spot.
Oh man, that's going to be so sad to see Ethan Burrell lose a chance due to just a miscalculation there. Pace car lights are off. We're going to be set to go here. There's only 7 trucks on the lead lap. Jeff Green, the last driver on the lead lap there. Drivers that still have a chance here: Jonathan Cutlip, Jess Story, Michael Hosek, Tyler Fode, Leighton Norgard, Corey Abbott, and Jeff Green. 3 out of the 7 drivers are drivers in red, needing to win. Almost 50% of the drivers on the lead lap can knock could put Ethan Burrell in a bad position here, or Leighton Norgard, one of the two. So this is getting Ethan Burrell is probably not happy to say the least.
Yeah, it puts him in the position that we've seen Nogard in all night long, where he almost seems to not be able to control his fate. But now we see Ethan Burrell kind of in that same position now. Oh boy.
I don't know. If I'm the 12 car, you don't want. Yeah, well, no. If I'm the 12 car, and I'm running in second, and Jonathan Cullip's in front of me, I don't want Ethan Burrell in the championship. He's already proven he is a champion. He won last season's championship. You can get rid of a really strong competitor there just by pushing his teammate to a victory here.
Yeah.
I'll have to see. There's a lot of strategy about to play out, and we're going to find out exactly what happens here. This is going to be the first setup of a green-white checkered here. Only 7 drivers, but there's a lot of lap traffic that may help play a factor into this as well.
Yeah, it should be a fun one to watch as they were getting ready to take the green flag. Jonathan Cutlip leading the field. Just Story on the outside. Oh, good start by Cutlip, but I wonder if that's almost too good for that number 11.
Yeah, Jess Story and Tyler Fode are going to have a really good run here. On that
Story,
outside.
Yeah, and he's trying to throw blocks, but then Jess really not going to have anywhere to go unless he goes up.
Yeah, Jeff Green's really far back there. I think his truck has got too much damage. He's pretty much out of it, and Corey Abbott got stuck behind a lap car. I think he's going to be out of it as well. I think it's going to be between these 5 drivers right here: Jonathan Cutlip, Jess Story, Tyler Fode, Michael Hosek, and Leighton Norgard. But right now, if it finishes like it is right here, that would put Ethan Burrell out of the championship right now.
Yep, and Nogard did what he had to do, survived at the end in that 3rd spot. For him, he probably just wants to stay in that 3rd position. He's probably not going to leave the back end of that 24, but will that 24 of Michael Hosek, will he try to make a late race move for the win as we come down to the white flag, 1 to go? Oh,
why
Nogard.
not? But here comes the Leighton Norgard. He's going to try to take to the outside. He's going to have the run. Oh, 29. Oh, no. That's the last thing you want to have happen is losing positions. Oh no, Leighton Norgard's going to need help. He's got Sam Batweld right behind him. He's going to need to get a couple positions, or he's going to be the one out if we have Jonathan Cutlip winning this race. But here comes Jeff Story. He's going to have a Leighton Norgard right to his back end with Tyler Fode and Michael Hossack right behind Jonathan Cutlip. That inside lane's looking really good right now.
Inside line, I think all they have to do is cruise around, stay in formation. Jeff Story bumps into the side of Hossack. He's going to wash up the racetrack. And now, unless Hossack tries to make a move here in the trial, well, he will, but I don't think he's going to have enough time.
Contact.
Oh, he blocks. He's going to finish third. Oh,
wins.
And
and he's going to advance into the pool. So no, Ethan Burrell with his money shift is out of the championship.
Wow. Who would have
Oh
thought
my
of
gosh.
And how did Norgard save that? He was which way but loose, and he saves it. And he had to kind of come up the track, block Fode there.
He had to make 8 points. He had to make 8 spots on Ethan Burrell. Ethan Burrell finished in.
Oh, he did finish
11th.
11th.
So he had to finish third or better. He had to finish third or better to get it, I believe.
So will that create him a tie position? And did Ethan lead any laps?
Oh man,
that could be close. So unofficially, if they're tied, it could come down to a tiebreaker.
I think it comes down to who had the best finish in the final round. And the third place. Oh man, there's so much involved right now.
Oh boy,
Dave, do some work, please.
Do crunch the numbers.
Burrell is thinking he led a lap, so we'll see how that comes out.
I don't know if you get. Do you get a point for leading a lap in the trucks? I don't know if you do.
I think you do.
I don't think you do.
And there, Norgard lap 1, so they both might have got playoffs.
If they both led lap 1.
Mm-hmm. That's wow.
If they're tied, I think if they're tied and they both led a lap, I think that puts Leighton Norgard as the winner because he had the best finish in the stage, or in the final 4 races
and
of third place.
Yeah, I think that's what the tiebreaker boils down to, and that's, I know they're talking about it right now. Nothing official yet, but it sure does seem like it might be Norgard.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna have to check the numbers like 3 or 4 times for the final decision to be tied. Essentially, that it is a tie. That's not a question. It's a tie. But who out of that tiebreaker gets in and how they determine that is still yet to be determined. I'm thinking of Leighton Norgard, but they got to check on everything. They got to check on everything. One driver that does not have to check on anything is going to be Jonathan Cutlip. He comes out tonight's winner and. Boy, howdy. Wow. So looking,
Norgard and Burrell both leading 1 lap here tonight, and they both finished third. Norgard twice and Burrell once, so that would potentially give that tiebreaker to Norgard, unofficially speaking.
Oh boy. Oh, my heart's
almost
pounding.
like, does it come down to a coin toss in a diner somewhere?
Like Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
Or what?
Oh boy. I mean, that's just crazy because that means our
hearing Chad
last year's
Norgard.
Champion. Yeah, I'm hearing Norgard.
And we'll get a chance to talk to him. I believe he's in the waiting room here.
You want to talk to
you got a top 3. Yeah, hold on real quickly. We're going to go through the finishing order here real quickly, and then we'll bring up our drivers here.
Okay.
Because crazy finish here. Let's go ahead and see how it all ended up here. It looks like Jonathan Cutlip did come out the winner here tonight. Michael Hossack made a good shot at it at the end. Only 0.02 of a second did he miss out, getting in second place. Leighton Norgard, what a crazy finish with Leighton. Sideways, trying to fend off Tyler Fode. Gets that third position just under, I think like 0.06 of a second over Tyler Fode. Jeff Story finishes it in 5th. Jeff Green made a strong run there at the end to finish in 6th. Corey Abbott will round out our drivers on the lead lap in 7th. Andrew Hardcastle in 8th. Jesse Rasmus in 9th. 4 laps down in 10th place, Cody McCorkle ends up putting the final nail into Ethan Burrell's season of Ethan Burrell finishing in the 11th position. Casey Hatch in 12th, Sam Batweld in 13th, Trey Holmes in 14th, and then Harrison Townsend rounding out the top 15. Justin Dewar having that rocket ending, not the way he wanted, though, in the 16th position. Jaden Rasmus, 17th. Chad Frankenfield will finish his night in 18th. Scott Crump right behind him in 19th. Justin Wadsworth in 20th. And Joshua Personette 21st. Mark Murphy, the final finisher of tonight's event, in 22nd. Wow. I'm still in shock here, Goody, about this whole thing.
I mean, all night long we seen Nogard having to kind of not being able to control his own fate, and it didn't look like in a lot of scenarios it was not looking good for him. But when push came to shove, he put himself in the right position to advance, to get himself just above Ethan Burrell. And a scenario where Jonathan Cutlip, who dominated much of this race too, getting that win. So it was a scenario I don't think any driver that were battling for this championship 5 thought it was going to play out, with Nogard getting in and Burrell being on the outside looking in.
Well, let's go ahead and bring up our rookie champion. He's already crowned the rookie champion. Let's go ahead and bring up our potential champion here for the end of the season as well. Let's go ahead and, oh no, that was Jonathan Cutlip. Let's go ahead and bring up Leighton Norgard. I'm sorry, I was talking about Jonathan Cutlip there. Leighton Norgard, man, did you have to drive that thing at the end to stay in front of Tyler Foote? Did you know what position you had to finish to be able to beat Ethan Burrell, to come to a literal tie and them having to back check like 15 times to make sure you got it? Did you know you had to finish 3rd or better?
I didn't know what position I specifically needed, but I knew it had to be at least in the top 3. So I was doing everything I could to get up there at the end, and it was not as clean as I would have liked it to be, but I'm going to take it.
I mean, you saw Jeff Story go to your outside, come into the white flag, and your heart must have sank because you saw you were dropping back there. How things worked out, Jeff Story, you were able to cut in between him and Tyler Foote there at the finish line and just barely get clipped by Tyler Foote. And then, I mean, Goody thought you were gone at that point. I mean, you were nose facing the inside wall, and you stayed in the gas pedal there. Was it as difficult as it looked to try to get in that 3rd position?
It definitely wasn't easy. I didn't think I was pretty sure I was going to be able to hold on to it at least across the line. Saving it completely was a completely different story. Obviously, I ended up stuck in the wall, but I was just doing everything I could to keep it straight enough to cross the line and get the spot.
Well, overall, you got to be happy. You're going to be in the final 5 at a chance to be able to get into the record books as a champion here. You're going to be going off over to, I believe it's Richmond, I believe we're going to. Yeah, Richmond for the final race. And you did something incredible here. You beat last year's champion to get into that final spot. You may have to thank his company that he gets his transmissions from, but overall, still it comes down to you were able to get it done there. What now? You going to practice all until the time to race at Richmond?
Yeah, I'm going to be putting in a ton of practice. It's going to be the Coke 600 and Richmond practice this week and next week, pretty much. So I'm going to give it my best shot. It's unfortunate that it went that way with Ethan. I would have preferred to beat him on track, but with 8 points, it's hard to do that with someone that drives as well as he does. So I'll take what I can get. My goal for the season was to make it to the final 5, and I've done that. Now I'm just going to see what I can do with it.
All right, I'm going to give it over to Goody if he has any questions for you here before you can do your thank yous and shout outs to being able to accomplish what you've done so far.
Yeah, one thing I do have for you is all race long we were kind of talking about how you were just kind of staying in the back. You're one of the few drivers, I think, right from the get-go. You went down on the apron and you had to dodge the wrecks and you were able to get through. But you just kept yourself in position, but yet you kind of knew that you didn't control your own fate until the very end there. So how hard was it going through the whole race knowing like that potentially you're racing Varela to not be in that bubble position, to Ethan blowing that motor and like you said, getting up there in that third position. So I guess all race long, what was kind of the mindset? Were you kind of calm, collected, and just see how everything fell at the end, or was it kind of sweating bullets until I guess after the checkered flag flew to try to figure out who won that tiebreaker?
So the whole race, I was just kind of sitting back, trying to keep my truck as clean as I could, and just to be there at the end and keeping an eye on everyone that was still up ahead of me, all the playoff drivers who weren't locked in already, seeing who could win and knock me out. I didn't think I'd be able to outpoint Ethan, so I was not counting on that throughout the race. I was just trying to either win myself or hopefully help someone who couldn't knock me out get the win. And neither of those ended up happening, but it still worked out. I was definitely stressed about it, especially towards the end when Cutlip was right up there at the front. It's a crazy way to end it's a crazy penultimate race for the season, the playoffs and championship at a super speedway. I would not choose it, but it's what we got, and it made things interesting for sure.
Well, we want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs, not only for tonight's top 3 finish, but being able to make the championship in ultimate dramatic fashion there. And we want to go ahead and do congratulations. And we'll talk to you a little bit earlier before the championship and get some interviews there. But go ahead and do your thank yous and shout outs for tonight.
Yeah, as usual, I want to thank my teammates, Andrew Hardcastle and Corey Abbott at Abbott Motorsports. They were doing everything they could to help me tonight. They weren't there at the end, unfortunately. Corey ran out of fuel, couldn't get more added. But yeah, they've been there all season, big help, and will be helping me practice. And then, I mean, as usual, thanks to you guys for doing this broadcast and the whole crew for making the league happen.
Absolutely. This is going to be one that you're going to want to rewatch for sure. So absolutely good job, and we'll see you over at Richmond.
Thanks. Looking forward to it.
That's your third place driver doing incredible things there. But let's go ahead and bring up the driver no one really talked about. Was one of those drivers that had nothing to lose but come in tonight and get the victory. Came oh so close, 0.02 of a second from being able to accomplish that, starting from second to last in the field, and worked his way up there. Overall, pretty hectic race, but out of only 1 out of 7 drivers to be able to finish on the lead lap, how crazy was it out there?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
There we go.
yes, we can.
Perfect. So yeah, it was pretty hectic out there. There was a lot of guys with damage. So if you got caught in the wrong line, you really had to push the heck out of them. I was in the middle with Jeff Green, and he was leading the line and on that final restart, and I just had to stay behind him. And yeah, everybody had damage except for a few trucks. So basically, it was just push them as hard as you could, and the trucks were a little off balance tonight. And then throw in the mix that we had to do a little bit of fuel saving too, which kind of bunched everybody back up after that final pit stop.
No, overall, able to get it a really good finish here, second place. I knew you probably would have wanted the victory, but did you know all the craziness that was going around you? You must have known with the final race of the championship how crazy aggressive people were going to be. Do you think that played into a part of how this race went and how little people there was finishing at the end of this?
Yeah, definitely. It seemed like people were kind of keeping a tab on the ones, because pretty much everybody had a shot. Like when you get to these plate races and a cutoff race, everybody, like if you win, you're in basically. So everybody was going for it. So it was pretty crazy. But coming down to the end, I had a little bit of right front damage from the last caution, but I was clean up until then. So starting on the inside behind John on that restart, I just knew I had to stay glued to his bumper, and once a car would get to your right rear, it would just bog you out. So John was doing a good job of bouncing between the lines, and luckily the 29 got a little bit bent out of shape side drafting me, which kind of gave me the clear to kind of make my move coming into the trial to try to make a move last second on John, but I just didn't have. I thought Norgard was gonna jump up with me and push me to a win, but he needed the win too, right? So if I went high, he was gonna go low and split John. So there's not really much I could do there with the damage. I had to wait last second.
Well, we want to go ahead and give it over to Goody here if he has any questions for you. Overall, congratulations on your second place finish tonight.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, don't have a whole heck of a lot because you kind of answered the question I had. Just anything that you could have done differently. You know, we saw you make that move, as you said, trying to see if Norgard would come up and draft with you, push you past Jonathan Cutlip. That would have put him in a pretty safe position either way. But other than that, it seemed like it was just like with only, I believe it was only 5 cars or 4 cars in that battle there at the end, or 5, I think it was. There probably wasn't a whole lot you could do just as far as the help, but yeah, I guess again, congratulations on that second place run, and all you gotta do is do one spot better. Heck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, I felt good there. I knew I was going to be in a compromised position on that final restart, and we were clutching it too. Because if another caution came out before the white, I would have had to come for fuel. I was clutching it, and I knew that I had to stay behind John and keep that draft. Otherwise, I was going to get freight trained. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy considering how the race went out. I thought we were going to lose the draft there, but then everybody was in fuel saving mode before that second to last caution. So that kind of bunched everybody back up for the craziness that ensued.
Well, we want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs because even for Talladega, that was a crazy one. So I'm pretty sure you have a few people to thank for tonight's nice, good finish.
Yeah, I definitely have a few shout outs there. I'd like to thank Mark Rabilis at Rabilis Photography. He's one of my good buddies, sponsors all my cars. Without him, none of this is possible. So shout out to Mark at Rabilis Photo. I want to shout out Sean Judson, who does my paints at Juddy Designs. You can look him up on Twitter, and he's got a Facebook page. And all the guys back at the shop at Covered Bridge Racing. Pretty happy with getting a podium tonight.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. We'll see you at Richmond, where, like Goody was saying, you have a shot to try to gain one more position to get that win.
Yeah, definitely. And Richmond's my favorite track, so pretty happy we're going there for a final race to try to end the season on a high note, and maybe next season we can make the playoffs because I think I'm the first man out right now, 15th in points, so it kind of sucks.
Well, next season's always a good one. We'll have less championship drivers with us reverting back to the previous method where no champions. So a few less champions would have easily put you in. So we'll see you again next season. We'll look forward to you improving on that playoff chance.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. And I like to thank you guys too, because you guys do a good job up in the booth, especially you, Goody. I haven't heard you much, but I know that you're doing good there, Gerald. So love hearing you guys.
If I can get him to stop yawning during the broadcast, that'd be great. We heard it, Goody. All right, thank you, and we'll see you at Richmond. All right.
All right, thanks, dudes.
That was Michael Hosek.
It's almost getting my bedtime. That's why, Joe.
I know. Well, still, we got an important person here to interview in a must-win situation. Getting it done here at Talladega. You had help in the beginning, but there at the end, it was all you and a bunch of hungry people behind you. How did you get that victory and lock yourself in? You knew even though you were somewhat there on points, with how little the attendance was here tonight, it was a must win. When you have to believe that's your aspect of how you came in tonight.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, you said it. I had a lot of help at the beginning, and they put me in a great position to get it done at the end.
Well, it comes with sweetness and sourness, I guess, for Pro Edge. You win, but knock your teammate out. But overall, what's your idea now? Are you gonna just put in some practice laps? So we spoke to Leighton Norgard, who also got in. He's gonna be putting in a ton of practice laps for Richmond. I know you're gonna have some steep competition. I know your teammate's not gonna be there, but it's still gonna be some tough competitors. What's your practice sessions going to look like for Richmond in the next couple weeks?
Oh, for sure. It's definitely bittersweet as far as me getting in. Burrow missing. I definitely wanted to race with him for the championship. That would have been a lot of fun getting into next week. But as far as practice, I usually don't do too much through the week. As far as league racing, I kind of just like test other tracks just to run around just a little bit. But I'll probably run a few laps through the week.
Well, go ahead and give us a rundown of as far as the last lap looked like, because there's a lot of pushing and a lot of looking in your mirror there. With only 5 cars, it was kind of hard to see where a run was really going to come from.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, I have to give a huge shout out to Matthew Weeks on that one. He was spotting for me the last 30 laps of the race, I think. He was huge as far as telling me what's going on behind me as far as the runs and which lines people were taking. He was definitely helpful with that.
We've seen him win a few times at these super speedways. That 11 number has been in victory lane at Talladega a few times, even in this last season, I believe. So let me get it over to Michael here, and he's got a couple questions he wanted to ask you as well.
Yeah, Jonathan, it had to be a wild mix of emotions for you here tonight. Dominating a good chunk of tonight's race. You had Ethan Burrell behind you. I think as far as the script that you Pro Edge guys were probably writing up, that it was going to be looking pretty good. It was going to end, storybook ending, I guess, as you could say. But it may be kind of bittersweet once Ethan Burrell did drop that motor late in the going. So I guess, how did you feel with that last restart, knowing that you didn't have that 37 behind you pushing you, to get that win, and again, lucky enough that you were able to hold him off and still be able to advance, but that had to be kind of nerve-wracking there on that final restart.
It was definitely nerve-wracking. I'm definitely gutted for him, though. To lose it like that is gut-wrenching, but the last restart was sketchy. I thought I got too much of a jump going into one because I just looked up in my mirror and I just saw them both side by side behind me by quite a distance. I thought they were just going to get a huge run coming down the back, so I wasn't sure what to do as far as managing that. And they ended up making contact and slowing each other up just enough to mitigate that a little bit.
Yeah, and that's one thing too, where I think if they wouldn't have been racing so hard side by side, it might have been a different story. But just again, congratulations! You did a masterful job with making those blocks too, to keep yourself in front, put yourself in this position, and you talked about not a lot of practice you might do throughout the week, but just as far as Richmond as a track for you in general, do you feel pretty good going into next week's championship run?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I've never raced at Richmond before, so it's going to be a tall task. I've raced there in a cup car, but it's obviously very different, so it's going to be a learning curve with the trucks as far as which lane and, just different inputs as far as, how hard to brake, where to brake, and stuff like that.
But hey, the important thing is that you're in that position and to go for a championship and just let it all ride now, man.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on making it into the Final 5, and congratulations on winning the Rookie Championship and the trucks. They're going to be going for a championship to complete the full run of championships for yourself. But we want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs, and we'll get to talk to you a little bit before the Richmond race to get some interviews from you.
All right. I'd like to thank the Pro Edge team. Ethan Burrell was huge in helping me tonight, and the Field Up team. My team on the Cup side, they were huge tonight too. We were all working together, and it was a lot of fun throughout the race tonight. I'd like to shout out again Matthew Weeks for spotting for me tonight and towards the end. He was huge as far as making calls, but I'm so happy to finally get this first one out of the way. It's been bugging me all year.
Again, congratulations. You got that win out of the way. Now you have to try to back it up in the most difficult of ways, and that's going to be going for a championship against some previous champions and some hard drivers, and probably the most anticipated and the hardest racing at the season, which is going to be for that championship at Richmond. Congratulations, and we'll see you over there.
Yep, thank you.
That was Jonathan Cutlip. We'll get to have some interviews with him before Richmond starts, and we'll have all that for you all. I believe it's what day is that, Dave? That's
June 4th.
Is it June 4th?
I think so. I know we're off next week.
Okay, so June 4th is when it's going to be. So the drivers have a couple weeks to get practice in. And thank you, Goody. We're going to have a fun time there because I believe all 5 drivers are from different different teams even. So we're going to have a wide range of competition and drivers for that championship.
Yeah, I think there's going to be no love lost between a lot of those drivers, especially the top 3 that you see on top of your screen: Fody, Frankenfield, and Crump. We seen that early wreck tonight that kind of minimized their chances to win here tonight, and maybe there's some bad blood between the 3 going into next Sunday, or they're just going to race that.
Maybe there's a bad blood.
I was trying to be nice, man. Come on.
I think if there's going to be a
We've spent an entire
bump,
season making sure there was bad blood. Don't be
that's
softening it now.
Don't stop it now. I mean, that could really set up guys like Fody, Frankenfield, and Crump. They've been dominating these standings all season long. I've been kind of keeping an eye on that. But guys like Jonathan Cutlip and Leighton Nolgard, they can kind of swoop in and collect the aftermath and get that championship next week at Richmond. I'm thinking it's going to be a fun one to watch in a couple weeks. There you see it, June 4th, Sunday night, right here on Elite Racing Network. Can't wait. Should be fun to watch.
I appreciate you, Goody. I appreciate Dave for bringing this beautiful view. And Goody, although your drivers didn't get in, I think it was a heck of a race to watch there. So I appreciate you joining me and helping me out tonight. My kid slept through the whole thing, and I can't be happier. So I didn't have to get up one time. So, but I still appreciate you helping me, and I appreciate everyone for tuning in. You're not gonna want to miss it because, as we alluded to, there's some bad blood. 2 of those drivers we know of are not going to be able to race for a truck championship again. They're previous champions. They're going to try to go for another one, but champions are not allowed to race for next year. So you know how important it is for them to try to get it done now. So we're going to see how that all plays out in 2 weeks from now at Richmond. So don't miss it. We'll see you then. And other than that, have fun, and we'll get some sleep here.
Yeah, nap time.
Nap time. Bye, everybody.